So is it fair to say that I've been waiting for this for over 40 years? I mean, it kind of would. Hello everyone, welcome back to Outside the Box. Today we do have a special one. In fact, I wanted to make sure I have proper attire. Oh yeah, I'm ready. It's almost surreal being in this spot, but let's not waste any more time, shall we? Because I'm hungry for burritos. Oh, buddy, let's go. Ah. Whoa! It's Can Opener Prime. Okay, I'll put this to the side here. Studio Series 8631 from the hit movie Transformers, the movie. It's Optimus Prime, man. It's the boss bot himself. He is finally here. Man, I really don't think I've ever seen artwork on a Transformers box as lovely as this. They just really knocked it right out of the park, man. It's so good! You see an iconic scene from the movie transforming here below, which I always thought was kind of odd. Having these thrusters underneath the truck? I never quite got that. But it looked freaking badass though, so no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. Right on up to his iconic jump. So good, man. So good. And not only that, but on the side of the box, you get this iconic pose. Pretty much right before the iconic scene from the front of the box. And on the other side, just a close-up of the head. Good stuff there. And yeah, some really good renders on the back. Just showing us some gorgeous beauty shots of bot and truck mode. Trailer opening up for the battle station or the repair bay down over here. And showing this little dude with a wheelie, right? It's basically the whole package. It's the whole package. I know we do get some new blast effects with this, which they show some here. And he's got his battle axe. It doesn't show everything though, which is kind of crazy. And you wouldn't know it just by looking at the artwork in the front that this effect on the bottom of the truck mode is also included as a blast effect. Real crazy how they don't show that. Oh wait, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. That's right here on top of the box. Silly me. So, all right, you got to look at every single side here, but you get a nice render of those blast effects here. That is a render, right? Yeah, that's totally a render. Anything in the bottom? Nope. Okay. Let's open them up. Oh shit. Oh shit. Take two. Ooh. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, all of the blast effects in the little bag there. We get this little guy. Okay. Very nice roller as well. Okay, this is definitely one of the best ion blasters I have ever held. I mean, even compared to Masterpiece. Very, very nice. Okay. I like very much. A much improved trailer for Optimus Prime. Very, very impressive. It's got a little bit of weight to it, and not a whole lot. All right, I'll wait to open that up. First thing I'm gonna check, the heels, which yeah, I think those are misassembled. I'll talk more about those in a bit. Okay, I have lots of thoughts that I need to solidify by verbalizing them, just saying them out loud. I consider G1 Transformers, a cartoon, to be a good start as far as the lore of Transformers, the voices, the characters, and of course the look and design of them. A very good start, but I definitely don't think it's the end-all be-all of what Transformers is. Transformers is unique as a franchise where it does reinvent itself every so often, mainly because it's owned by a toy company. But because of that, we get so many different iterations of them, even though there's many of the same themes that carry on from one iteration to another. But as far as iconic G1, the cartoon is a very good start. Now, there have been many additions, you could say, to the visual aesthetic that you might consider to have become iconic or core to Transformers. Talking about Optimus Prime specifically, I don't remember exactly when it happened, but when that grill-like pattern on his shins turned a silver color, I thought that made perfect sense. And we've been pretty much seeing that for almost every Optimus Prime since then, especially when it was really based off of G1, right? I remember specifically back in the Dreamwave era. Sorry to conjure up Dreamwave, but just stick with me here. The artwork of Pat Lee, I know, I'm sorry. He added some grill-like features to the top of Optimus Prime's cab, so it was like to the side of his head, that I thought looked pretty cool at that time. I was like, oh, that's a new addition. And lo and behold, when MP1 came out, Masterpiece Optimus Prime, he had that same design aesthetic onto that figure. So I thought, oh, okay, that's a new iconic design for Optimus Prime. It's sticking around, and I thought it'd be here for good, but thankfully it kind of went away. I mean, it doesn't really make all that much sense for the top of the cab itself. So some things stuck and some things didn't. Also, I'll give you another example. Again, I don't know exactly when it happened, but when we started seeing Starscream with his chest vents, I thought that was a really cool design. We've been seeing that pretty consistently, even onto his first Masterpiece version, until they very decidedly went with a more cartoon aesthetic. And so that design was gone, and a lot of the detailing of the previous Starscream as well. MP44 Optimus Prime, same thing. Not only did he not have those iconic silver colored grills on the front of the legs, are now back to all blue like they were in the G1 cartoon. And I couldn't help but feel it was very much like a step backwards, which is the main reason why I never really picked up the newer Masterpiece figures. I mean, that and the fact that they had to be that much more complex of a transformation to make them look like their cartoon versions, which jacked up the price, right? So I was no longer really interested in those. The last Masterpiece Optimus Prime I got was MP10, I think he is. And I mean, from day one, I had issues with that one as far as proportions, hiding the wheels on the legs. It wasn't perfect, but it still kept a lot of the detailing that I appreciated on a slightly more modern take for G1 Transformers. Which then brings me to one of my first customs, Earthrise Optimus Prime, which many consider to be a mini masterpiece at that time. And it's held up pretty well. That is a fantastic figure with great detailing. A nice budget went into it, a little bit of kibble in the back, but something that you could just remove yourself. But a great overall Optimus Prime. And now we get to this guy, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, which very much is based off of the G1 cartoon. I mean, it's on the box from Transformers the animated movie, and yet thankfully this Optimus Prime is doing something a little bit different. It is not being completely slavish to the look of G1. You look at it from a distance and yeah, it's G1 Optimus Prime. I think what gives it most away is the white on the crotch and the thighs. I think it looks great in the cartoon. I prefer more of a silver look myself in toy form. But anyway, it's based off of that, right? But you look at it a little bit closer and you can see extra detailing that they've added throughout the body. Maybe not as much as Earthrise Optimus Prime, which is fine, but there's quite a bit going on here. I think the designers went with a decidedly more middle of the road when it comes to either a G1 cartoon influence or a more detailed modern look. There are some things that I wish it had, so it's not gonna be perfect for me. I don't know if the perfect Optimus Prime will ever exist. But this guy is damn good. Now, this backpack here, yeah, that's quite a bit busy, huh? And it does stick out quite a bit. It's not so egregious that it just ruins the entire figure, though. I do wish it looked a little bit cleaner. That's mainly due to the transformation having to be just a little bit complex to get us a figure looking this good. It is absolutely noticeable that a decent budget went into this design. Now, I was talking about those silver shins before. This Optimus Prime doesn't have them. It is all blue like it was in the cartoon. However, what I'm just noticing now, which you probably can't tell from any of the pictures, is that they do have just a slight bit of an angle on each one to give us a little bit more of that modern look. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. And I couldn't be happier that it is there, because you know I'm gonna repaint this guy, and you know I'm gonna paint him silver, right? Yes, that's gonna happen. I was even thinking so far as to what if I was to cut them, and what if I was to re-angle them myself and then re-glue them? Yeah, I was crazy enough to think about doing that. Now, I would still love them to have more of an angle, so me cutting these up isn't completely off the table, but they put that much thought into this design. It really is the middle ground between G1 cartoon and a more modern look. And I really do respect that, man. I respect the heck out of that. Also, on the inside of the legs, I don't really remember what kind of detailing the G1 cartoon had in this part. He probably didn't have a whole lot, and they certainly did add quite a bit to this figure. That looks amazing in here. I don't even know if I would maybe add a bit of color, some more silver on the inside here. I might. It looks like there's some almost inner exposed piping. It's not hollow by any means, but there are like some circular sections, cylindrical in shape coming down here. It's almost begging for color. This guy looks amazing. He really does. Now, a couple of other parts that I would have liked for it to have design-wise. I am somebody that personally does like to have Optimus Prime with his wheel showing on his legs. Definitely more of a toy aesthetic is what I prefer here. But again, They were going for mostly the G1 cartoon look for this guy, so I guess that was really something that they couldn't really do a middle ground on, right? It's either going to be one or the other. Again, I respect what they're doing here, and my mind can't help to think, is there a way to modify this where we keep the wheels exposed on the legs? I have an idea how the transformation is going to go. We're going to find out here in a bit, but if there's a way that I can get the wheels still showing on the legs, I would like to do that maybe. Also, what is supposed to be the gas tanks here on the side, again, I prefer having that actual cylindrical shape to them. How you would find in an actual IRL truck, how you find them on the G1 toy. They did change this quite a bit for the G1 cartoon, and they're recreating that for the figure here, so can't get mad at them. That's what they're going for. But I could easily see myself just replacing that with something else, right? Maybe. He does have the iconic design right on his forearms with that triangle and those few rectangles behind it. In the cartoon, they were never colored yellow. I don't even know when they started popping up in yellow, because I know the G1 toy doesn't have that, but I of course prefer it myself. It adds a bit more color to it, so that's something that I'll definitely be doing myself in the eventual repaint, but the design is there, so that's important. Even just down to the look of the Autobot symbol itself, it's just a white outline like he had in the G1 cartoon. I don't think I would have a way to recreate that myself. I'm pretty sure they make special decals for that, but I also prefer our more standard looking Autobot symbol just to make it pop out a little bit more too. So I'll probably be going with a more traditional route myself. What is a little bit odd though, okay, so the front grille, his abs that become the grille of the truck mode, it is painted in a lovely silver. I do love that. Good detailing there. The gray section on the torso though is just painted gray, whereas traditionally that would also be silver. In the toy, it does become the silver striping on the cab itself, so obviously it doesn't change for bot mode. And I'm trying to think if it is colored different in the G1 cartoon show. I think it might be, right? Again, it's an easy fix for me. I'll be painting that silver myself, so no big worries there. Another little minor design that Optimus has had more so beyond the G1 cartoon is that on the top of the chest section, the very top section would sometimes tend to go over like an extra lip over the windows. And again, I'm not really a truck aficionado myself, but I'm guessing that's a little bit more accurate to how trucks actually are in real life. And I like the design for bot mode as well. Of course, the G1 cartoon never had that though, so we're not getting it here. Is that something that I can add myself that would be a little bit more tricky? I might have to 3D print something to add on there. Yeah, I think it's doable because it wouldn't get in the way of opening the windows to get to the matrix, but I would have to work around the lights, so that might take a little bit of doing. Or I might just leave it the way it is. I mean, it's not a major thing. I mentioned the extra detailing on the inside of the legs. The back, man, look at the back of these legs here. Look at what's going on there. Not overly complex, it's not super busy, but there's detailing there, man. Jeez, there is some detailing there. Awesome stuff. I'm starting to think that every single Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime has these rear heels misassembled. It's not a major thing, but they're upside down and basically reversed with each other. So the red would still end up on this side, which is kind of what makes it not that major of a thing. I mean, since I'm going to disassemble it anyways, of course that is going to get fixed. I have seen some horror stories of other quality control issues with this figure though. I'm not really seeing anything else right now visually. I know somebody in the Discord had a pin missing on a section in the back, and thankfully I don't see anything else missing on mine. I've seen somebody on Facebook have two of the same side antenna, which really sucks, man. That hasn't happened with ours, thankfully. So other than the minor misassembly, I think we're okay. Knock on wood. Speaking of the antenna though, let's talk about that head sculpt. On a character as celebrated as Optimus Prime, sometimes getting that head sculpt just right can be a little bit tricky. I remember again on MP10 Optimus Prime, it was a good head sculpt, but something was a little bit different about it. Couldn't really name it. I think maybe the overall shape of it. Here though, I think they nailed it. Just knocked it out of the park. The one minor detail though is probably just the thickness of the antenna. That, however, is mostly going to be due to the limitations on what they can do with a figure that's meant for kids. I think it's always ages 8 and up, right? Yeah, 8 and up. I believe there's only so thin you can make this plastic, not just from a stability standpoint, but because it's got to be for kids too. Takara Tomy doesn't really have that issue with the Masterpiece line. They can make it as thin as they need to. It's more accurately shaped, so I can't ding it too much. I might even be able to just sand them down a little bit. Yeah, that's a thought. That's a thought. But the head itself, the paint on the eyes, the gray that's on the front crest here, it's perfect. Now, again, a minor detail that the G1 Optimus Prime has in the cartoon, that gray section, he doesn't have that blue border around it. It's all gray in the front, which, again, G1 cartoon, it's a good start. I'm actually glad that they've added just the blue border. I don't know why it helps to tie the whole thing together. Thankfully, this guy, he has the blue little border around the crest. Even if it was all gray, it's a simple paint fix, right? Wouldn't have bothered me one bit. So yeah, again, it's a mixture between classic and new. God, this guy is so good, man. The hands on this guy, ooh, just remarkable. Let me extend them out here, and you can see just how much articulation we have, which is pretty amazing. 2 articulation points to give us a proper fist, and the index finger is separate from the rest of the fingers. Now, because of that, and once again, because of the limitations of how thin you can make certain plastics, that index finger looks fat as hell. Oh my God. It's almost like you hit it with a hammer and it got swollen up. It's pretty fat. It is very noticeable, especially when you have it together with the other 3 fingers. Basically, the index finger is as fat as 2 of these other fingers here. If we were to take one out, I mean, he would have like Ninja Turtle hands, you know? I think it's a minor thing though. Probably no real way to fix that unless you reconstruct the entire hand, but it does allow Prime to give us the iconic pointing pose. So I'm very much appreciative that it's there, even though it's a fat index finger. Yeah, it's good. Good that it's there. And then when you close them up, even as a fist, I like how it doesn't have just a hole in the middle as most Transformers do to hold their weapons. That's a closed fist, baby. You're gonna feel that punch. Yes, you will. Good stuff, good stuff. You know, as far as customizations or modifications in mind that I can't help but to start thinking about, I don't know if there's certain pieces off the backpack that I can leave off of bot mode to maybe get a cleaner back look. If there is a way, if there's maybe some pins, and I'm seeing a lot of the fin pins, which is really good, but if there's a way to maybe leave some sections off, I might be down to do that. I might even go so far as to see if there's a way that I can make, or if there's a third-party aftermarket piece available to maybe plug onto the back that's molded on a more traditional G1 backpacky kind of a look. I might go so far as to do that. There's definitely what I'm assuming to be parts of what I'm guessing are going to be the front bumper for truck mode, just hanging up the back here, and so it's breaking up all of the red, which normally I like solid colors being broken up. Here it's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb though. And just the overall shape is not all that clean. It's a little bit too busy there though. But even still, it's remarkable how they were able to compact that much into that space. I can see how they kind of tried to shape it into the backpack. They did what they could, right? You don't typically see the back of Optimus Prime's butt, for lack of a better word, molded just like it is in the G1 cartoon show. He's got that blue section just really sticking out there, and that's how it is in the cartoon. That's remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen that, not even on Masterpiece. You know what? Let's do some comparisons here. I've got my MP10 out here. He's been a great Optimus Prime for all of these years. Again, I've had issues since day one. Maybe hasn't aged all that well, but it's still my masterpiece Optimus Prime on display. And you look at what they did for his back. They were still using parts of the truck mode for the backpack. It's a little bit cleaner though, although there's still some sections just kind of hanging out the sides. But look at the back of the crotch. He's got the blue section here, but it's nowhere near sticking out like it does in the G1 cartoon show. So not even Masterpiece could have accomplished that. Wow, right? All right, that's enough of this guy. Here we have Earthrise Optimus Prime, one of my very first customizations on this channel ever, really. Still very much happy with how this guy turned out. Not perfect by any means. He's about to be dethroned as my mainline Optimus Prime on display. Unfortunately, his back though, for the backpack itself, at least it's not all that busy. Doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good actually. Now the back of the crotch though, that's where he had some kibble for the bumper of truck mode. Thankfully you're able to just kind of leave it off, but he's got this little hook section just kind of sticking around. So not really anything matching the G1 cartoon there. But he does have his wheels out, so he's got that going for him. Yeah, this Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime is truly an accomplishment. And I don't say that lightly. I've mentioned this term before, and every time I say it, I always mean it. This guy is, say it with me, a mini masterpiece, right? And I haven't even transformed him yet. I truly cannot wait to give him a nice coat of paint and maybe see what kind of modifications I can make to make him more to my liking, right? I'm pretty sure maybe some of you have had the same thoughts, or maybe you'll love him 100% just the way it is. Perfectly okay as well. Transformers always means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And so you're never going to get an Optimus that's going to make everybody happy. But this is making a lot of people happy, minus the quality control issues. That's always unfortunate. Get your shit together, Hasbro, please. But other than that, this guy is phenomenal. Before we transform him, we need to check out some accessories here. Man, this is a very good Ion Blaster. Holy schmoly. You know what? That was one thing I was never really happy with Earthrise's Ion Blaster. It's super chunky, right? It did have a gimmick where it folded in half to kind of store on the back, and I got rid of that gimmick to fill in some hollow sections up on top, but it's still not the shape of the Ion Blaster itself. Not terrible. I wish it was more iconic, which what we have now. Even MP10 had that same gimmick, which I'm not too crazy about because I'm never going to store the weapons in such a manner. It's either going to be on the hand or it's going to be in a box somewhere. Having said that, it does look a little bit better. It's not a complete fat mess like Earthrise, but because it needs to have these hinges added to it, it's not exactly how it traditionally looks. Well, now they solved that by getting rid of all of those gimmicks. Yeah, this baby's not going to be folding anywhere. This is truly, I think, 100% accurate Ion Blaster. And also, as you notice, it's not really painted in just a glossy black. It's got like a very dark gunmetal to it, which I don't typically paint mine. I do have some new metallic black paints that I purchased. I may have to give them a shot with this weapon, but it's going to be definitely darker than just a gunmetal. Also, the section, like the vent section, is typically like in a more silver kind of a gray. I'll definitely be adding that myself. Such a minor thing though. This thing is pretty perfect. Now, it does have a little piece of plastic sticking out the barrel for blast effects. I wish blast effects were made in reverse, where there was a piece of plastic sticking out of the blast effect that you can stick into the barrel to make it look a little bit more realistic when there's no blast effects. Sadly though, that's what we have, and I think it's for a stability issue. Blast effects are of course the softer plastic, so if you have that part sticking in, it's gonna probably sag, although they still do anyways. Nothing is ever perfect. Okay, all right. Now will I be cutting that off and drilling a hole in? That's what I usually do with my customs, right? But these blast effects look really good. Oh, you know what would really be nice? I'm just spitballing here. What if we add some kind of an LED? That would look really awesome. Okay, all right, let's put a button on that. Then let's take a look at these guys. Speaking of blast effects. Oh my God, they are so soft. They're already bent out of shape. Wow. I'm concerned about the really thin ones that do go over the weapons. Oh yeah, dude, there's no way anybody gets these straight right out of the box. Look at how bent out of shape that is. It's not terrible, but it's just in the bag, so yeah, it's gonna get folded around. This can be fixed with some hot water. I think even boiling water. You have to be a little bit careful. So I think I can get them straight. That won't be a big issue, but it's got the hole here on the back. I mean, this is a very, very simple blast effect design. It's nice. I would probably prefer more of the scatter blast effect that we see on Siege Jetfire or Optimus Prime. He doesn't have any of here, sadly. It's okay. It's all right. Let's see. Oh, he also has his Energon axe, of course. How do you get this thing on here? I'm not even going to look at the instructions. I'm a crazy guy like that. Yeah, okay. All right. It's Transformation 101, right? Okay. Boom. Love it. Now, let me say something here real quick. I love how this Energon axe doesn't have to peg over the existing fist, because whenever you do that, you can always see it inside. Always, always. No, they did the right thing. You fold in the fist into the arm, and then it exposes a peg where this bad boy gets clipped onto. That is the perfect solution. I love it. Now, could we add an LED into that? Well, that would be more complicated because now you have a fist inside of there. They do make really tiny LEDs. I used the super small one for our Siege Shockwave way back in the day. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself here. These other blast effects are the ones that are meant for the truck mode. I'm wondering if there's more than one way to attach these or if it's just kind of a one-way thing. I think it's just a one-way thing. I don't know if you can mix and match the left and the right sections, though. I don't think so. It's an odd shape. Let me try it. The answer is no, you cannot. So they will only go in one way. That's good. All right. Should we do a transformation here? Let's do it. I think I'm ready. All right, I will be looking at the instructions for this. I mean, how complicated can it be, right? It's not Masterpiece. Whoa, mama! Okay, well, it's all on one side, and the back just shows how to use all of the accessories. Damn, 40 steps, huh? How much time do we have? How's my battery going here? Ooh, we need a new battery. We need a new battery. Hang on. Oh, that was so good. Oh yeah, that was really good. That transformation was super satisfying. As is always the case with a brand new Transformer, there's some sections where I'm unsure about, even with the instructions. I'm always afraid to pull or twist on something where I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it, but nothing major here. Everything just clicks and foomps into place. And also, no other quality control issues that I can see as well. So at least I'm really grateful for that. And this looks like such a clean cab, man. That is so good. That is so good. Not perfect. No, not perfect. But very, very good. Quite a bit of extra detailing. The little ladder here in the front of the cab to get on. Also on the back as well. That's cool. The cartoon accurate gas tanks. It would have been cool if something would have flipped out that's more realistic. But again, based off of the G1 cartoon, right? Man, that is such a clean back here too. These pieces, once again, even though they're upside down, backwards, whatever the case, they don't distract. It's such a minor thing. And I will be getting those fixed. So I'm not too worried about that. One thing I would say now that we're in truck mode, the smokestacks seem to be not loose, but a little bit too easy to just kind of move around. I wish they would kind of click firmly into place. Especially this one here. Doesn't click whatsoever. I can see the sections where it kind of should rest into place, but any little movement I make, any little bump that I give it, it's going to just move all over the place. Not too bad though. Not too bad. Now, I will say the biggest critique that I can give it, for me personally, he doesn't have its silver striping here on the sides, right? But again, based off the G1 cartoon, not really based off the toy, so it drops that. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking it too. Can we fix that in the eventual repaint? And the answer, I think, is yes. It does have some molded sections here on the sides where the silver striping would go, and we can just continue that onto the front of the cab as well. What's really surprising though, Optimus Prime, we all know the transformation, right? The arms kind of tuck into the sides like this, right? Well, on this guy, they actually turn around and you bend the elbow the other way. You're basically breaking his arms to get him into the truck mode. Part of the reason for that though is all of this detailing that's for the truck then becomes hidden in bot mode. So I think it's really smart that they did that. It ends up being on the inside of the arm instead of the outside. If that would have been showing on the outside, I would have been okay with it. That's how it is on Earthrise Prime, even on Masterpiece Prime. But the fact that they could just twist it around means that they could have different detailing just dedicated for bot mode. And also, the silver striping that we will eventually add is going to be more hidden in bot mode because it's going to be on the inside of the arm. So that's actually a blessing in disguise. Even though I would have been totally fine with him having a little bit of a silver stripe in the forearm. He won't have it now though. That's actually kind of cool. I love that. And the other parts, all of this front section here is what gets folded away into the back of bot mode. So we can really paint whatever we want on there. You're not even going to see that in bot mode. That's going to be a really clean fix. Looking forward to that. I do love how there's this molded, what is it called? Like a hitch for the back of the truck. That's where the trailer would connect to. That's what they actually pretty much look like in real life. I'm glad it's there. And the way the transformation works, that part gets completely hidden in bot mode. There's just sections that open up on each other to give the legs more of that rear section shape, not as curvy as it is in the bot mode. Good stuff, man. Really good stuff. The fact that we can see Prime's feet in the back, that's expected at this point. You're never really going to be able to hide that. It's iconic for them to be there, right? And even though he did have this section in the Earthrise mode, I'm glad it's more pronounced here for Studio Series. The side mirrors, they're really sticking out there. You can really, really tell that they're there. And I appreciate that as well. They're a little bit thinner in Earthrise, which is fine. And one thing I do appreciate about the Masterpiece version is that you can kind of fold them in for bot mode too. But here, because they just fold away entirely, you don't even need to have that, and it's cool that they're there. Good stuff. We got to complete the whole package though. Wow, it doesn't even like click into place or anything. It just kind of sets in there. That's cool. Lots of rotation available in truck mode. You could easily jackknife yourself, so you got to watch out for that. Yeah, but making turns won't be an issue. And man, this whole package, this is absolutely how the completed truck with the trailer should look. I do still have the trailer for Earthrise. I need to grab it. All right, let's get it out. Ooh. Dusty. Yeah, I never bothered to paint this. It just felt like such an afterthought. It didn't seem worth it, and I'm glad I didn't. I mean, even just comparing this little rear section of the trailer to the new one, it's definitely smaller. It's definitely not molded in the proper plastic. It definitely doesn't have any paint to it. It's not a bad mold though. It's just very simplistic. Also, no roller came with it. That was another minus. It did do one thing better though. I'll mention that in a bit. Now, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime is a little bit taller than Earthrise. Look at that. Look at the difference. This is very funny. This is very funny. It makes it look kind of cute here. Now, what does this one do a little bit better than this one? Not a knock against this one. I like the blue striping that we have on the trailer here. I like adding that extra bit of color. Sadly, it wasn't in the G1 cartoon, so they didn't add it to this trailer. But I'm gonna show you here just a close-up of the lines here for basically the blue stripe sections. Keep that in mind because here they have a little bit of molding where parts of them would go. You see like this section here? So it's gonna make it not that difficult to recreate them on the eventual repaint. And yeah, if I do repaint, not if, when I repaint Studio Series 86 Prime, I'm definitely gonna be repainting the trailer as well. This deserves some nice paint to it. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Typical detailing that you would see on the inside of it. I don't know if I would take the time to really paint in all of those extra details. Mostly meant for weapon and blast effect storage here on the inside. So some good stuff there. And I know you can actually fit some mainline Autobots in here. I don't think you can fit them all, or not every single one's gonna fit in here. I'm definitely not gonna try any right now. Yeah, but this is just great. And of course, Roller can wield the mighty trailer himself. Again, not very tight connection. And it's gotta be loose just to accommodate the turn, so that's good. Can't get mad at it for that. And even this internal mechanized section can connect onto Roller. And of course, this guy does extend. You've got the arms out here. You've got the, what is it, like the antenna section that you can have on Roller. I don't remember if the original G1 toy did this. I think Masterpiece does. I don't remember. It's a thing you can do. I'll never do it other than right now. It's cool. But also, the Ion Blaster can also go on top of Roller. So he can pack some serious heat. He can take Prime, his weapon, when he needs it. Very cool. What else? What else? Oh, the famous blast effects. Here we go. I'm not sure which one goes on which side. I mean, there's some little square notches here on the bottom where you would connect the blast effect. Yeah, it's doing the thing. That's nice. It stays on there pretty well too. That is awesome. Oh man, that's so good. And of course, I can't help but think, is it possible to maybe wire some kind of an LED in that? It'd be very complicated. There's definitely no room for a battery compartment in this figure. There's no open cavities like Siege Shockwave had, but I wouldn't mind maybe running a cable outside through the back, through an external maybe battery compartment. That could definitely work. It's just putting the wire through some complicated plastic sections that will have to transform afterwards, right? That's the tricky part. Also, this plastic it's not completely see-through. Light can definitely run through it though. I don't know how it would look. I don't know how it would look. Maybe I would definitely try to paint a little bit of more detail to them though. But that's awesome. I'm glad that this is included. Good iconic stuff there. All right. Okay, but I do want to get him back into bot mode just once more and do some proper size comparisons with the others. So let me do that. Oh yeah. He can pull off the pose. Of course he can. So here you have him with MP10 Optimus Prime, and you do notice a few of the panel line detailing that does match with MP10. Let me show you one here. I don't know if this particular design is specific to MP10. It's probably not, but just the fact that they match between the two, it's pretty satisfying. On the side of his torso here, he's got like this extra grill detailing that I think I have seen before. And right here in Studio Series, he does match that little bit of detailing. I like little things like that. It adds extra character to the figure. But I think the detailing that's probably a little bit more iconic at this point, only because it's front and center. On the front section of that silver part, there are these little vertical panel lines running down the top there. That I've definitely seen on quite a few other Optimus Primes. And Studio Series is no different. He's got that same panel lining to match that. I do love that. Good stuff there. Good stuff. But now here he is with my own Earthrise Optimus Prime. And yeah, the paint job's gonna be a little bit unfair right now, right? But just so you can see, like, size-wise, how they compare with each other. They were going for different things with these two figures. They both accomplish what they're trying to do. Obviously, Studio Series 86 is the superior Optimus Prime, but there's really no contest. The amount of budgeting that went into this guy, even though Earthrise was a full package that came with the trailer as well, you can tell the difference, right? You can 100% tell the difference. I'm so glad we got this figure, and I'm so happy to finally have him in hand. He does not disappoint. I'm just realizing we didn't see the Matrix of Leadership. We should probably take a look at that real quick, huh? Part of what's cool on the way that it opens up, there's a tiny little lip on the bottom of the windows. Just makes it a little bit easier to grab onto, to open them up. In fact, let me just do so right here in front of all of y'all. Yeah, it's super easy. Yeah, just, there you go, look at that. And now that is, of course, one thing that is lacking here on the inside. There's no silver or gray paint on the sides. It's just a red plastic, so that's always a little bit of a bummer, but whenever it comes to just paint that's missing, there's the middle section though that you have to lift up. I like how the Matrix of Leadership isn't just automatically exposed. As soon as you open up the windows, it's got a little bit of protection, and it also matches a little bit better with what we see in the animated movie, so that's cool. Let's get this. There we, oh shit, well, damn it. Right behind the camera. We got it. We got it. It sits a little loose in there. Okay, that might fall off again. No, I think it's fine. Honestly, I think it's the same Matrix that we've gotten before. You know what? Let's check on that here real quick. Wow, you know what? I think it's the exact same Matrix. Yeah. That's the exact same molding, which isn't a bad thing. I think I would have expected it to be a little bit bigger since Prime is a bit bigger himself. But take a look at these two. You can probably tell due to the paint job, this is the one from Earthrise. This is the Studio Series 86. Same size and the same detailing, same molding. It's the same Matrix. I never compared it with Studio Series Ultra Magnus, but I'm guessing it's also the same one. And it's perfectly cool. Now, since the one for Studio Series, since it is clear plastic painted, I may actually see if it's possible to add an LED in there. That would be really cool. I mean, even the peg where you connect it to already seems to have a little bit of a hole there in the middle. So that's, I think, something that I could do. Definitely something to consider. Okay, but yeah, it definitely needs more paint in there as well. Just seeing the Matrix sit inside of all of that red plastic doesn't look all that great. It does have the detailing though. There's a lot of extra little bits and pistons in there that would look great with some gunmetal paint. So that would definitely be done. Okay, but that is cool. I also like how the windows, they are a clear blue plastic, but they're silver painting on the inside, just to give them a little bit of an extra shine. That's actually the same thing I did with Earthrise Prime, although my paint job for the silver wasn't as great. But you get a nice look out of that. All right, is there anything we missed? I'm gonna have the trailer here on roller. You know what, we didn't connect that internal mechanism doodad here on the inside. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now it's complete. All right, I'll even add you guys over here. You all look great together. Okay, hey, you know what? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so simply by subscribing, hitting the like. You could also become a member of this channel and use some awesome emotes here, or head on over to the merch store for some great stuff. Or if you really want to support, head over to patreon.com/hobbies with Jose and pick a tier that's right for you. You get some cool behind the scene videos and photos of my latest project, which drag strip is coming along great. You can also catch up with me on all the social medias. Of course, links are always down below. And I'm streaming live on Twitch on weekends, where right now I'm playing through Deadpool. So that's right, put your red pants on. But if you can't catch me live, I do upload them to my second YouTube channel, Hobbies with Jose Gaming. But until I see you in the next one, you take care of yourself, okay? Adios, everyone.